we'd like to present to you the next generation of RF technology. This is a picture of JASIS's newest product, the Intracel RF Microneedle Workstation. The top right is a picture of JASIS's handpiece. Below is the 49 microneedle tip. This is a specification chart of the Intracel. You can use bipolar mode and monopolar mode with only one handpiece. This image is the RF circuit diagram and needle structure of the Intracel tip. To the left is the arrangement of the needles. It can achieve bipolar mode as the left side is positive and the right side is negative. To the right shows the structure of the needle. This needle makes a 0.12 mm hole when inserted into the surface of the skin. The needles are insulated except for 0.3 mm at the tip where the RF energy is emitted. Accordingly, due to this needle structure, the machine is able to irradiate RF energy only to the target areas without producing thermal damage to the epidermis. When the needles are inserted into the skin, the non-insulated 0.3 mm tip will irradiate RF energy. The following diagram simplifies the principle of how the Intracel works. First, place the handpiece against the epidermis. Second, the needles penetrate into the skin. Third, the Intracel emits bipolar RF energy for a duration of 30 milliseconds to 100 milliseconds depending on the parameters set. This process takes only 0.2 seconds from insertion to emission. Fourth, the needles are retracted from the body after RF emission. The entire process of a single pulse takes less than 0.5 seconds. Intracel can be used for treatment anywhere on the face and body. It is effective for face lifting, wrinkles, pores, acne scars, acne, and skin rejuvenation. Fractional lasers produce a lot of micro laser beams to penetrate into the skin. This induces dermal and epidermal recovery. The picture above shows the ideal concept of fractional lasers that form the shape of the columns, but in fact it appears to be the shape of an inverted triangle and not a column at all. Therefore, it cannot avoid producing more surface damage the deeper the target area. This diagram shows the level of damage to the epidermis depending on the depth of the target area. The laser beam penetrates as an inverted triangle, creating more damage to the epidermis the deeper the target area is into the skin. Many users are now realizing there are difficulties and limitations of lasers or fractional type lasers to treat deeply into the dermis without significant thermal damage to the skin's surface. On the other hand, the newly introduced Intracel will help you to overcome those limitations. The Intracel tip has 49 needles in a 1 cm square area. The insulated needles can penetrate deeply into the skin without thermal damage to the skin's surface. The Intracel's RF electrical energy turns into thermal energy and induces protein denaturalization. Microholes created on the skin surface by the Intracel's needles would avoid thermal damage, which minimizes side effects such as pigmentation. Intracel's needling will cut tangled collagen structure and help the wound healing process. By this process, the skin will recover with fresh and healthy collagen and elastin fibers. As Intracel treatment involves this natural wound healing process, it could be combined with many other skincare programs. This is a comparison of cell structure between fractional laser systems currently in the market and the Intracel. 1540 nanometer erbium glass uses high energy and induces 1.4 mm depth of protein denaturalization. But as it uses the epidermis as the energy pathway, it causes the side effects of burning and pigmentation. Thus, to cause less trouble, the patients would need to be treated 3 to 5 times with lower energy. 2940 nanometer erbium YAG absorbs all the energy at the epidermis, and therefore it destroys the epidermis and creates holes. It has certain limitations for treating epidermal trouble, as it can only penetrate to 0.25 millimeters depth. 10,600 nanometer CO2 fractional laser is good to have both denatured protein and peeling. However, it showed substantially low efficacy and has a long downtime of more than 1 week because it also creates holes and epidermal damage as it uses the epidermis as the pathway for the energy. On the other hand, the Intracel RF microneedle is effective for creating denatured protein and causes collagen reproduction without any thermal damage to the epidermis. The Intracel brings nice efficacy from 1 to 3 treatments without the side effects of thermal damage on the skin surface, as it does not use the epidermis as the energy pathway. This picture is after bipolar irradiation. You may recognize the circled protein denatured areas where the needles were inserted. Also, the undenatured protein areas between the needles help to promote the wound healing process. The picture on the right shows a close-up view of the needles. This graph shows the relationship between the output energy and the emission time. The Intracel's energy levels 1 to 5 are within the B to D range. This will provide an output energy that is safe and effective. The patients will have no problem getting a comfortable treatment with the use of local anesthesia. This picture shows the difference in changes between CO2 fractional laser and the Intracel. As you can see, the treated area of the CO2 is in the shape of an inverted triangle. Therefore, the epidermis gets more energy when the target is deeper into the tissue. However, with the Intracel, you can selectively treat the target area without creating any damage to the epidermis. The microneedle is as thin as a hair. It penetrates the skin and emits RF energy from the 0.3 mm tip. On the right, the denatured areas are indicated by the dotted lines. This is a cell picture dyed by H&E. The purple color is the denatured area. We can see the effect of 100% of the energy emitted into the dermis. This is 2 days after treatment at a depth of 0.8 millimeters. An area of 1054 micrometers of denatured protein is measured at 1 millimeter in depth. This is 2 days after treatment at a depth of 1.5 millimeters. Denatured protein can be seen at a depth of 1.6 millimeters. The Intracel can allow you to treat different target areas by selectively choosing the treatment depth. The image on the right shows a yellowish area by Van Giezen stain. It is the denatured area. You can only find the collagen denatured area in the dermis. Confer the Van Giezen stain is a mixture of citric acid and acid fructan. It is the simplest method of differential staining of collagen and other connective tissue. It was introduced to histology by American psychiatrist and pathologist Ira Van Giezen. You can clearly see the denatured protein zone after 2 days. In this picture, the purple color of the denatured zone is obviously diminished 14 days from the baseline. In the image on the right, the purple color of the denatured zone is diminished to the size of a small dot 28 days from the baseline. In this picture, you cannot find the purple color of the denatured zone. 70 days from the baseline, the wound healing process is completed. These are electrophoresis results after RT-PCR testing. 13 gene expressions are observed and measured after treatment at energy level 2 and energy level 3 of the Intracel. If the band is bold and wide, you can see more gene revelations. Overall, level 3 shows more improvement than level 2, so you can find more gene expression at level 3. Thus, higher energy levels cause more damage and in turn create a stronger wound healing process and cell recovery. The following slides contain before and after photos of various treatments performed with the Intracel system.
While tearing off a game of golf, I may make a play for the caddy, but when I do, I don't follow through, 'cause my heart belongs to Daddy. If I invite a guy some night to dine on some fine feeling Hattie, just to joy he's asking for more, but my heart belongs to Daddy. My heart belongs to Daddy, simply couldn't be bad. And my heart belongs to Daddy, 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 Daddy. Want to warn you, Daddy, though I think you're perfectly swell. My heart belongs to Daddy, 'cause my Daddy, he treats it so well.